Famed physicist Stephen Hawking said, "Once I turned 21, my expectations went to zero, and everything since then has been a bonus." Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Killing It with Kris Davis. Thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor and go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and let's jump right in. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the concept of not being attached to outcomes. This concept is so powerful because it frees up so much real estate in your mind from watching those mental movies about the future that we really don't have any control over in the first place. You know, we all have goals and aspirations, which I think is very important, don't get me wrong. I feel like it's very important to have a goal that you strive for, and then you put in that work to make that goal a reality. I do believe that we get in trouble though when we try to micromanage life and are only happy when things go exactly as we planned. Because there's a saying that, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. How many of us front load our years with disappointment by setting New Year's resolutions only to be at square one by February? Or fellas, how many of us have not shot our shot with a woman because of our expectations of being rejected or looking stupid? Or ladies, how many of you have turned down a good man because he didn't fit the ideal that you had in your head? I got one. How many of us had our plans for March and April sidetracked? I doubt any of us had plans on being stuck inside months on end, all because of some virus named after a Mexican beer. The point is, we need to release our attachment to outcomes and not be bogged down by unhelpful expectations. I haven't counted myself, but I've heard that there are 365 times in the Bible where it talks about not worrying, which is pretty cool. There's one for every day. In the Bible, in James 4:15, it talks about if the Lord wills it, we will do this or that. In Buddhism, the second noble truth deals with how the origin of suffering is attachment. The idea that all of us have desires and cravings, and because we can't satisfy all of our desires and cravings, our disappointment leads to suffering, which is just another manifestation of suffering. Speaking of manifestation, how I understand it is, say you want a job. You set your intention for exactly which job you want. You get crystal clear about exactly what job that it is that you want. And then in that moment, you feel gratitude for already having the job. Say, I'm so grateful for already having it. Really feel the emotion of, I'm so grateful for this job. You really sit in the emotion of gratitude for already having it. Not in the future, I'm going to be happy and grateful for having it. You, right now, in that moment, you are thankful and you're grateful for already having that job. And once you feel the emotion of being grateful for having the job already, you release how the job is actually going to show up into your life. You let God or the universe do its thing on how it's actually going to show up. And then you go about putting in the work, your work, to make it happen. AKA, you apply for the jobs, you get certified to make yourself qualified for the jobs, you speak about the jobs, you ask people, how did you get this job? You do your part. Because you can't just wish for something to happen and then expect it to happen. It doesn't work like that. Manifestation does not work like that. The Bible says faith without works is dead. Jesus' first miracle dealt with this idea of manifestation. The wedding party needed more wine. And Jesus was like, okay, you want wine, but first you go and take these jars down to the river and fill them up with water. You do your part first. Only after the jars were filled with water did the miracle happen. Think about that for a second. It's really powerful. I once got a place by doing this, a place to live. Me and an ex-girlfriend of mine, we shared this very small apartment. We had 2 dogs, and we needed a place big enough for them to roam around. So we set out our intentions of, okay, we need a backyard, we need hardwood floors, and because we had just wasted $70 on an application fee that somebody else swooped in and got, we were also said, we want to be the first one on the list. So that was a Sunday morning. So we were looking around Craigslist or whatever, and we found the perfect place by Sunday afternoon. We called, and because it was Sunday and not Monday, that put us first on the list. The guy was like, yeah, come check it out Monday, the next day. But we set our intention, we put in the work by calling and looking for it and doing what we needed to do on our end to make it happen. And then it manifested. We got the place, and it was a wonderful place for the time that we lived there. Now, I'm not saying that that manifestation is going to work exactly like that, because the whole point of this is, again, releasing your attachment to outcomes. So it may not happen just as you want it to happen, just like that, but it will happen. So I hope you guys really get a lot out of this and kind of think about it and put into practice what I'm talking about, because it really is powerful. Like I said, I'm sorry, I didn't really mean to go on a manifestation rant, but there's really is a power in this concept. Let me know in the comments if you guys have ever manifested something like that before. I'm really curious to know. Anyway, the thing I truly love about not being attached to outcomes is that it truly allows you to live in the moment, and your stress levels lower so much because you're no longer striving and fighting for this outcome or that outcome. You're really just allowing life to come to you. But if you can harness the power of not being attached to outcomes, it will allow you to avoid the resentment of failed expectations. It will allow life to amaze you with all sorts of different circumstances that you couldn't have even dreamed of. Because the universe really wants more for you than you can actually want for yourself. It's really kind of crazy how it's set up. But that's it, guys. I hope you got a lot out of this one. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell notification as well, so you can be notified when new content drops. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's go kill it.